In our previous episode of Last Night on Earth, the campaign, the zombies have exacted their revenge on the heroes as they have turned the drifter Jake Cartwright and FBI agent Carter into the living dead. Sheriff Anderson and a chemical engineer named Dr. Yamato have just arrived on the scene, and the other survivors hope that their appearance will help to turn the tide against this supercharged horde of the undead.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. We're continuing on with our campaign playthrough of Last Night on Earth, the zombie game. This is chapter 2 of our playthrough of Revenge of the Dead. Now before we begin, I have some corrections to make, and I'm going to try to be more careful so that these I can keep the amount of corrections to a minimum in the future. First one I noticed was this card, the hungry one. It was a play immediately card, but this is a remains in play card, and this allows the zombie player at the start of the move zombies phase to choose one zombie to move D3 spaces. So this is something that will be ongoing, that it can use every turn. So I should not have discarded that. We're going to place that back into their tableau of remains in play cards. There's also another one. During the last turn, the zombies had a card called Trip, and they could have played that card. That would have mandated that a hero re-roll one of their movement dice now, especially when we made the movement up here for Johnny and for Nikki. I would have played that. So I'm going to have this card hold over for this next turn. We're going to temporarily increase the hand limit by 1, and we'll preserve that card for use during the coming turn. Another thing was I played a card. It was a sacrifice card, and the requirements of the sacrifice card were to just delete or to discard 2 of the zombie cards. Well, in addition to discarding the zombie cards, I also discarded 2 zombies somehow. So I'm going to place those back, and I'm going to put those. I believe that the one came from like in this quadrant and one in the southeast. So I'm going to replace that back at the spawning pits. That's the best that we can really do to resolve this. So I'll add the 2 zombies that were illegally removed from the game. So now these are the currently active zombie cards that remain in play. We've got the hungry one, strength of hate, desperate for flesh, and anxious to feed. Those are all active. And we're ready to begin the next turn. Right now it's going to be the start of the zombie turn. We're going to move the sun track. It's going to go from 10 down to 9. So the heroes have 9 turns left. And step 2 now is to draw new zombie cards. So we've got a lights out card, resilient, play when a zombie is hit or killed by a gun to immediately discard the gun. It's stuck, play when a hero uses a hand weapon, combat bonus in a fight, roll a d6 on a roll of 4+. After the combat bonus of that weapon is taken into account, the hero must discard the item. We've got Shamble, play this card to move a zombie d6 spaces instead of its normal move. Let's Split Up, play at the start of a hero turn. Until the end of the turn, any hero that ends their move action in the same space or building as another hero immediately takes a wound. Then we have a Play Immediately card, and that's My God, They've Taken the, and it says Play Immediately. Roll a random building and place a Taken Over marker in it. Place a zombie from the zombie pool in each empty space of this building. No hero may enter this building or search there. If the building has already been taken over, re-roll. Zombies placed there may not move during this turn, and that's a remains in play card. So we're going to take care of that Play Immediately card right now. So we're going to roll for a random building for that. My God, They've Taken Over the, and that's a 2. So that is going to be in the southwest quadrant. So we'll make another roll to find out the individual building. And that roll is a 4. So building 4 is going to be taken over. Building 4 is the antique shop. So we only have one zombie that's in the zombie pool. So we'll have to place that one in there. And then we're going to list that with a taken over counter. So we've placed a taken over token in that building, and that is going to complete that. My God, they've taken over the antique shop. All right, the other cards are going to go into their queue that they can use during the turn. And like I said earlier, we're going to also give the trip card was going to be added to that set of cards because we should have played that in the previous turn. And the next phase now is we're obviously going to be spawning zombies because of the scenario objectives. That happens every turn. So we're going to go right to the move zombies step. And before we do that, zombies have some cards to play. They're going to play Lights Out. Play this card at the start of a zombie turn on any building to place a Lights Out marker on it. The zombies have cut the power. Any hero moving into the space with this building, within this building, immediately ends their move. All right. And I think a good building to put that in is going to be the supermarket. So we're going to place a lights out marker there, and that's going to cut the power to the supermarket. The reason I selected that is that pickup allows them to discard the top 3 cards to draw 2 cards. So that would probably be a good target for us to use that lights out token against. Another card is the Shamble card. Play this card to move a zombie D6 spaces instead of its normal move. All right, so we're going to play that card, and I think we're going to try that against the feral dead that is on the board. So we're going to make a roll and see how many movement points the feral dead gets. The roll is a 2, so that's its standard movement. And we'll have the feral dead move 2 spaces. 1 and 2. All right. Now there's also that hungry one card, which is an active card for the zombies. At the start of the move zombies phase, choose one zombie to move D3 spaces this turn instead of a normal move. And that's an ongoing remains in play card. We'll make a roll for that. I think we're going to select this zombie here and see if he can get to Agent Carter's location. Here's the roll. And the roll is a 2, so he'll have 2 movement points this turn. That's enough to reach Agent Carter. And now we'll make the move for the remaining zombies. And we'll start in the southwest corner. Obviously this zombie is drawn by zombie hunger. He's going to attack Jake Cartwright. And now we'll move into the zombies to the northwest. And I think they're going to probably head towards this direction. And that one is already in contact with Agent Carter. I guess we'll probably move him in here. That'll block him from going into the post office. And then we'll move these in the southeast quadrant. And we'll have them slide up like so. And then it's just the zombies that are in the center of the board. And I think we'll probably put them in a direction like this. We'll keep them separate so that they can't be targeted as a group. And that is going to complete the zombie movement. And now it's time to fight heroes. And we'll start out with this attack down here on Jake Cartwright. Now the problem with Jake Cartwright is he is currently carrying a card that remains in play that says, I feel kind of strange. Play this card on a hero when he takes a wound from a zombie. The next time the hero would be wounded, instead they are turned into a zombie hero. All right, so this could be the death knell for Jake Cartwright. We'll have to see. We'll start out by making a roll to see if the zombie is going to have a fight card. All right, here is we'll get a D10. The roll is a 7, so no card for the zombie this turn. Jake is going to use his hunting knife, which is going to give him a combat bonus that if he rolls doubles on any fight dice, the zombie instantly takes a wound. All right, so Jake is going to get his normal 2 dice. The zombie will get their normal 1 die and 1 extra for the scenario objective. So that's going to be the roll, and we'll see what happens. Here is the roll. All right, we don't have doubles from Jake. That was a 6, by the way. And what's going to happen is the zombie has tied Jake's result. That means he's going to take a wound. And with that I feel kind of strange card means he is going to be turned into a zombie hero, unfortunately. Not good. Not good. So we're going to place a zombie hero marker underneath Jake Cartwright. And he is going to operate now as a zombie hero. And when we have a death of a hero, it says when a hero is killed, any items they had are immediately discarded. Any event cards the player has in his hand are unaffected. The hero immediately rises back up as a zombie hero under the control of the zombie player. The player that controlled the killed character immediately draws a new random hero. And zombie heroes have some special abilities. They work just like normal zombies, but with the following exceptions. Zombie heroes move D3 spaces instead of just 1. Zombie heroes also have a number of health boxes equal to what the hero had when they were alive. Note that zombie heroes do not retain any of the hero's special abilities, upgrades, or items. They're never considered to be a hero in any way. All right. So, unfortunately, we've lost Jake Cartwright, and he is a zombie hero. We're going to draw a new hero for the players. All right, we have eliminated Jake Cartwright from the campaign hero list, and we made a roll, and we've determined that it's 081, which is going to be Sheriff Jack Anderson, small town lawman. So Sheriff Jack is going to appear, and he starts the game with a revolver. So we're going to have him have a revolver, and his starting spot on the board is police station. There isn't one in this layout, so he is going to start in the middle of the board, and that's where we'll place him. Now, by checking the rules a little more closely, I found out that when a new hero enters the game during a mid-turn, they don't start at their normal starting location. The choices are he can start in the middle of the board or at a random building location. If he starts in the middle of the board, he gets a free hero card. So I think that's what we're going to do. And Sheriff Anderson is going to get a chainsaw. All right, combat bonus. The hero rolls an extra fight dice. Any zombie beaten in a fight is automatically killed, even if no doubles were rolled. If you lose a fight while using the chainsaw, discard, or discard a gasoline card in its place. Okay. Now, Sheriff Anderson, one prohibition is that when a new hero comes into play, they're not able to interact during the current turn. And now we got one more fight to resolve, and that is the zombie attacking Agent Carter. We'll roll to see if the zombie has his fight card coming with him. The roll is a 9, and he is going to have 1 fight card. All right. And that card is revealed to be Clawing Strike. Roll an extra fight dice. If the zombie wins the fight, gain an extra experience token. Okay. So in this case, the zombie's going to get his normal die, the bonus die for the scenario objectives, and that extra die for this Clawing Strike card. Agent Carter has no hand weapons of any kind, so he's just going to get his normal 2 dice. And that's what's going to happen. And here's the roll. And in this case, the zombies are going to win. The 5 goes against the 5, and that's a tie, and the zombies are going to win that, and that is going to kill Agent Carter. He is going to become a zombie hero. Whoa. Agent Carter had 2 wounds on him already, and The third wound is enough to convert him into a zombie hero. So we're going to mark him with a zombie hero token underneath him. These wounds are now removed, and Agent Carter is going to be controlled by the zombie player. Now the zombies are going to gain an XP for that wound that they had against Jake Cartwright, and they're also going to gain 1 for the wound they scored against Agent Carter, and then a bonus XP for this card. If the zombie wins the fight, gain an extra experience. So they've got 3. They've got a total of 4 XP now, and I think they're going to probably exchange those in for a experience, an upgrade for them. Well, before we get to taking care of the zombies upgrade, we're going to draft our new player, and we've determined that by random roll it's going to end up being Dr. Yamato, chemical engineer. And I think I'm going to have him also start at the center of the board. And he'll draw an extra hero card to begin the game with. And he's going to start with Too Close. That's an event card. Play when a hero is about to take a wound. Prevent that wound on a d6 roll of 3+. The hero may immediately move 1 space in any direction, ignoring walls. All right. And now we're going to take care of the hero upgrade. They're going to spend the 3 XP that they have, and they're going to draw a hero upgrade card. And this time they get Concussion. Select a random hero. That hero must discard a hero upgrade or lose all experience tokens if they have no hero upgrades. All right, we're going to select a random hero, and I think what we'll do is I'll just use a D4. And we'll begin with Sheriff Anderson is 1, Nikki 2, Johnny 3, and Dr. Yamato is 4. So we'll make a D4 roll and see which hero is going to be affected. And we have a roll of 1. That's going to be Sheriff Anderson. And in this case, that would work out good because Sheriff Anderson just came on the board. He has no upgrade and he has no experience points. So that is just going to be a no play for the zombies. And that's going to conclude the Fight Heroes phase. Now, the zombies have 2 of their 5 that they need to win the scenario. They need to kill 5 heroes to win the game. So they've got 2 of the 5 already. We're going to make a roll now for the place newly spawned zombies. We'll roll a d6, and there really aren't any, but they can get some spawn points that they might use to bring in some other things. So give a roll. The roll is a 6, so they have 6 spawn points, and they can use that to bring in some other zombies or to use the grave weapons cards, and I think that's what they're going to do. The first point they're going to do is they're going to spend 1 XP and 2 spawn points to bring in the other feral zombie. And I think we're going to place that I think in the spawn pit up here. All right, that's the first step. Now they have 4 spawn points remaining. That will allow them to convert 2 existing zombies to zombies with grave weapons. And I think they'll do that to these 2 zombies that are nearest the other 2 heroes in that corner. So this zombie here is going to be able to get a grave weapon, and he has Rusty Axe. The zombie rolls an extra fight dice. In addition, before the fight dice are rolled, the zombie player may choose one of the hero's hand weapons that they may not use during this fight. So we'll change that model over to a Rusty Axe zombie. So we'll switch that hero's model to the zombie with the Rusty Axe. We'll keep that model off to the side so that we maintain our zombie pool of 14. And then the next card is going to be for that zombie there. He'll have another grave weapon card, and that one is also a Rusty Axe. So we've got 2 Rusty Axe yielding zombies. We'll get a model for that. Okay, we'll exchange that zombie. And these cards we'll keep off to the side so we know what a Rusty Axe does. And that's going to complete the zombie turn. We're in definite real trouble here. I checked the rules a little more closely. It says that when a new hero comes into play, that they are they're not able to be used during the current phase. Once that phase is complete, they can be activated and used in the normal manner. So in this case, Dr. Yamato and Sheriff Anderson will be able to activate as normal because their appearance happened during a step of the zombie phase. And I think we will begin the hero phase now, and we're going to activate. I think these heroes have to get out of here. There's just too many zombies around, so they're going to have to move. And I think we'll start with Nikki. We'll see what happens with her. We'll have her roll for movement and see how many movement points she can get. And she rolls a 2. That's not so good. So she's got 2 movement points. Well, the choices for Nikki are to just remain in the building, and then she'd be able to draw a card from the hero deck, or she'd be able to move out a couple of spaces, but that isn't really going to help her too much. I guess she'll remain where she is and she'll draw a hero card, and she ends up drawing Escape Through the Windows. Until the end of the hero turn, all heroes may move through walls as long as they do not end their move in a building space. In addition, any locked door card played this turn is canceled. All right, we'll add that to the list of cards for the heroes. And that's going to bring Nikki's turn to an end. One thing I forgot about is when we spawn that feral dead zombie in this north part of the building, the Anxious to Feed card is still active, so they would move 1 space. And we'll have them move to that location. So we're good now up to this point. I think next we're going to activate Johnny. Johnny has a revolver. Johnny will roll for movement, and he rolls a 3. So he's got 3 movement points. I think what we're going to do with Johnny is I'm going to have him move into this general store, and he'll be able to utilize that exploration token. So we'll have him move 1, 2, that'll get him by the door here. And that would still allow him to attack that zombie, the feral dead zombie, that would be within range of his revolver. So we'll resolve the exploration token. It's a free search, and he ends up drawing a chainsaw. Combat bonus, the hero rolls an extra fight dice. Any zombie beaten in a fight is automatically killed, even if no doubles were rolled. If you lose a fight while using the chainsaw, discard, or discard a gasoline card in its place. Okay, we'll give that to Johnny. Okay, Johnny is going to use his revolver during his ranged attack step, and it has a range of 3, so 1, 2 is no problem. And he's going to get a hit on a 4 or greater. So we'll have Johnny make his roll. 4 or greater, he'll get a hit, and he's going to target that feral dead zombie. The roll is a 3, so he has missed, unfortunately. And that's going to bring Johnny's turn to a close. And I think next up is going to be, we'll activate Dr. Yamato. He is in the center of the board here. He has some special abilities that we're going to put to use, but first I think we'll try to move him out of harm's way, so we'll have him roll for movement. His roll is a 6, so he has 6 movement points. And I think we'll maybe have him go into the factory. He'd be able to utilize a exploration token there, so we'll have him move to the factory. And he'll move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it'll move him in the middle there, get him some space from the spawning pit, and then we'll have to take a look at this exploration token, and that is a free search. And Dr. Yamato finds Principal Gomez. Immediately cancel any zombie card or make a zombie reroll its fight dice. And I think we're going to use this immediately, and we're going to have Principal Gomez is going to cancel one of those active zombie cards that remains in play, and we'll try to get rid of one that's plaguing us. And I think Principal Gomez is going to get rid of this Hungry One card. At the start of the Move Zombies phase, choose 1 zombie to move D3 spaces, so that'll cut back on the mobility of the zombies. So we'll discard that card along with the Principal Gomez card. It's a good use of the card for us. Now Dr. Yamato has a special ability, and that is called Cutting Edge Science. Once per turn, you may discard the top 3 cards from the hero deck to choose a zombie card or zombie upgrade. Cancel that card on a d6 roll of 5 or 6. If a zombie upgrade, the hero cards discarded are removed from the game, except scenario search cards. So I think we'll give that a try. We've got plenty of cards in the hero deck for the moment, so we're going to discard 3 cards. Those 3 cards are discarded, and now Dr. Yamato is going to make a roll, and hopefully he can get a 5 or 6 to cancel one of the existing zombie cards. Here's the roll. He rolled a 6. He was successful, so we're going to be able to cancel another one of those zombie cards that are plaguing us. And I think we're going to get rid of this Anxious to Feed card. Anytime the zombie is spawned or on a spawning pit, it may immediately move 1 space from the game. So we're kind of limiting their mobility a bit with this, which is good. So we'll do that. And that's going to bring Dr. Yamato's turn to a close. And then all we have left now is Sheriff Anderson. He's currently in the center of the board. And I think we'll probably have him try to move to a safer location and maybe put his revolver to use. So we'll have him roll for movement. And he rolled a 2, so he's got 2 movement points. And we'll see what we can do with that. And I think we'll have Sheriff Anderson move 1 and 2. And then he's going to use his revolver, and I think he's going to target this feral dead that's there that has a movement of 2. So he would be beneficial if he can get rid of that thing. So we'll have him target the feral dead, and he's going to make a roll with his revolver. He is going to hit that creature on a value of 4 or greater. Here is the shot. He rolled a 6. He is successful. So we've killed that feral zombie, which is great. That is dead. And Sheriff Anderson is going to earn his first XP, which is fantastic. So the feral dead is going to go back to its card. Sheriff Anderson is going to earn an XP. And that's going to bring the hero turn to a close. We'll start with a new zombie turn. And before we close out the hero turn, the zombies had a card called Resilient, and it says play when a zombie is hit or killed by a gun item to immediately discard that gun. So that means that Sheriff Anderson's revolver that he used to kill that feral dead is discarded. We're ready to begin the next zombie turn, and that's going to be starting with the moving of the sun track. So we go from 9 down to 8. Heroes have 8 turns left, and they've already lost 2 of their heroes as zombie heroes. So we'll see what happens with this. Next step is to draw new zombie cards, and first one is a play immediately. Roll a random building and place up to d6 zombies from the zombie pool in any empty spaces of that building. Limit 1 per space. Well, there's no zombies left in the pool, so this card will just be discarded. There's nothing we can do to activate that. Next card is Shamble. Play this card to move a zombie d6 spaces instead of its normal move. Outsider. Play this card at the start of the zombie turn on any hero. Hero may no longer use the building special abilities. All right, I think we'll play that card on Nikki, and that will prevent her from using the special abilities on the buildings. Next card is Smoldering Dead. Play this card at the start of the zombie turn. Zombies do not need to roll to take damage from fire markers. Remains in play. Okay, we'll add that to the zombie list of remains in play cards. Next card is This Can't Be Happening. Play this card at the start of a zombie turn on any hero. The hero rolls 1 less fight dice than normal. Discard if the hero starts their turn in the same space as another hero. Remains in play. All right, we're going to place that, I think, on Johnny. And finally, we have Locked Door. Play this card when a hero tries to move through a door. The door is locked and the hero's move ends in the space before the door. Okay. And next up is move zombies. All right. I guess we'll start down in this quadrant here. Now we have a zombie hero. He is going to move at a rate of D3. So we're going to roll a D3 for the zombie hero, which is formerly Jake Cartwright. And he rolls a 1, so he'll have 1 movement point. And I think he'll probably move towards the sheriff. So we'll have him move there. This zombie will move there. There. These are going to move this way. That moves 2. That is a feral dead. And then we're going to have another one attacking. Nope, he is a zombie hero, another zombie hero. We'll have a D3 move for zombie hero Agent Carter. And he's going to move 3 this turn. Right. And we'll get him to move 3. And I think he'll move 1, 2, 3. And these zombies will move. And finally, these zombies. Right, and I don't remember if that one moved or not. I don't think it did. So we'll move him there. Okay, that completes the zombie moves for the turn. And next up would be to fight heroes. There are none in a fight situation. So we'll move on to place newly spawned zombies, and we'll roll for how many zombie spawn points they'll have. Zombies roll a 3, so they have a total of 3 spawn points. All right, there's no zombies that can be brought in from the pool, so I guess all they'll be able to do, they have no XP left, so they can't bring a feral dead in. All they'll be able to do is spend 2 points to gain a zombie with grave weapons. And I think we'll play that grave weapons card on this zombie right there, and that is a machete. Zombie rolls an extra fight dice. In addition, if the zombie has doubles on any of its fight dice, the hero must fight the zombie again after the current fight is resolved, unless the zombie is killed. Okay, we'll get a zombie with a machete and change that zombie figure out. All right, so we'll change that to our zombie figure with the machete, and we'll place that there, and this one will go off board. And that is going to complete the zombie turn. We'll move on to the hero turns. Well, the heroes are in a bad way. The complete board is filled up with all the zombies in the pool, and they've got some remains in play cards on 2 of the characters, on Nikki and Johnny, especially the one on Johnny, and that penalizes him to roll 1 less fight dice than normal. He can discard the card if he starts the turn in the same space as another hero. So that's what we're going to have to try to do, is get him to match up with another hero in the same space. I think we'll start out by activating Dr. Yamato. He is in the factory, and I think I'll have him roll for movement. Now, if he can roll a 5 or a 6, that entitles him to a unique items or a survival tactics card. So we'll see if we can do that. His roll is a 1, so he'll just remain there and he'll do a search, I believe. Now, Dr. Yamato has a special ability called Brilliant. When searching, roll a d6. On a roll of 6, draw an extra hero card. All right, we'll have him roll an d6 and see if we get an extra card. Nope, he rolled a 5, so he's just going to draw the 1 hero card, and that is revealed to be a pump shotgun. All right, we'll give him a pump shotgun. That's great. And that is pretty much going to end Dr. Yamato's turn. He does have one other ability, and I should use that. It's called Cutting Edge Science. Once per turn, you may discard the top 3 cards from the hero deck to choose a zombie card or a zombie upgrade. Cancel that card on a d6 roll of 5 or 6. I think we'll do that. I've discarded 3 hero cards, and we'll make a roll and see if we can cancel one of those zombie cards. Okay, he needs to get a result of 5 or 6. Nope, and the roll was a 2. All right, that is going to end Dr. Yamato's turn, and we'll move on to another hero. And I think what I'm going to do is activate Johnny. He has that revolver. Now he's under that penalty of 1 less fight dice if he gets into any hand-to-hand combat. So I think what we'll do is just try to get him in a space with another hero, and then we can discard that card. Here's his roll for movement. He rolls a 3. Okay, so Johnny's got 3 movement points, and we'll move him into a space where he can maybe use his revolver. That's a spawning pit. Oh boy, this is getting really tough. 1, 2, and 3, I guess he'll move there. And then he's going to use his revolver during his ranged attack, and he's going to target that zombie with the rusty axe. He's going to hit on a 4 or greater. Here's the roll. Roll is a 1, and unfortunately that means that the revolver is out of ammo and is discarded. If our luck could get any worse. And that's going to bring Johnny's turn to a close, and I guess we will activate Sheriff Anderson. Sheriff Anderson will roll for movement. He rolls a 6, so he's got 6 movement points. And we'll figure out what we want to do. He can get a revolver back. That's one of his special abilities called Man of Action. Instead of searching, he may take a revolver from the discard pile. So we got to get him into a building, I think. And I think Sheriff Anderson is going to play this card called Adrenaline Rush. Until the end of the turn, heroes may move through spaces with zombies without being stopped. So that'll apply for all the rest of the heroes. That'll be Nikki and Sheriff Anderson. So we'll play that card. And since we're able to move through spaces with zombies now, I think I'll try to get Sheriff Anderson into one of the buildings up here. Maybe he can use one of those exploration tokens. So he's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to move him into that building. Now the problem is the zombies have a card called Locked Door. Play this card when a hero tries to move through a door. The door is locked and the hero's move ends in the space before the door. So he won't be able to get in there. But at least he's a little bit farther away from the mass of zombies where he was. So that's going to end Sheriff Anderson's turn. And then we'll move on to Nikki. All right, Nikki is up in the gun shop. And, well, we're going to have her roll for movement and see what happens. She rolls a 4, so she's got 4 movement points, and I think I got to get her out of there. We'll try to just get some distance for her, and she's going to move through that space with the feral dead, I think. So she'll move 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think that's all that we're going to do. And that's going to at least get her some space. I think what I will do is I'm going to use her card First Aid. Discard to fully heal any hero in the same or adjacent space except during a fight. So that'll fully heal Nikki. She'll recover one of her wound boxes. She's back up to a total of 3 wound boxes now. And I think that will end the hero turn. We'll move on to another zombie turn. Okay, it's the start of a new zombie turn. We'll move the sun track from 8 down to 7, and then we're going to draw some new zombie cards. And this is the new cards that the zombie player has drawn. He's got a play immediately called Heavy Rain. All heroes start their move in an outdoor space must subtract 1 from their movement die roll to a minimum of 1. While in play, fires go out each turn on a roll of 1 or 2 instead of only on a 1, and that's a remains in play card. So we'll add that to the zombie player's list of remains in play cards. And next is Falling Darkness. Play at the start of a zombie turn to cancel any hero card that is marked remains in play on a d6 roll of 4+. All right, Locked Door, we've had that one before. Bitten, we've had that one before. Play this card on a hero when they kill a zombie in a fight. Okay. Then there's Twisted Ankle. Play this card on any hero when they roll a 1 for movement. That hero must now subtract 1 from their move die rolls down to a minimum of 1, and that's what remains in play. Then we have Out of Luck. Play to force a hero to re-roll a break test just made for an item. Or play when a zombie is killed by a gun to immediately discard that gun on a d6 roll of 3+. Okay. And now it's time to move zombies. All right. And I think we'll start by moving the hero zombies. We'll start with the Jake Cartwright hero zombie, and we'll have him roll a d3 for movement. He rolled a 2, so he's got 2 movement points. And I think he's going to try to head towards Dr. Yamato. So we'll have him move 1 and 2. And then we also have another zombie hero, and that's the Agent Carter zombie hero. He's in the middle of the board. We'll have him roll for movement. He rolled a 1. Okay, so he's only got 1 movement point. And I think he's going to head to the north. Okay, so we've gotten all of our zombie heroes done. Now we'll move our standard heroes. And we'll start down in this quadrant here. That's going to be a direct attack on Johnny right there. I think these heroes here will move towards Dr. Yamato. And this moves 2 spaces. All right, those zombies have moved, and now we're going to go to our fight hero step, and we do have a fight, and that's going to be this machete wielding zombie attacking Johnny. All right, we'll start by rolling a d10 and see if the zombie gets a fight card. The roll is an 8, so he will not have a card. So his standard attack now is going to be his regular 1 dice, 1 dice for the scenario rules, and then 1 because he has the machete. And if doubles are rolled with the machete, that will force the hero to have to fight him again during this, after this is concluded. Johnny is under a event that says that this can't be happening. He'll roll 1 dice less than normal, so he's going to be rolling 1 dice right now. And I think what he'll do is he'll use his chainsaw. That'll give him an extra die, and then he would also automatically kill a zombie even if no doubles were rolled. So that'll be the dice pool for this attack. Okay, we'll give the dice a roll and see the result of the fight. Okay. Well, it looks like the zombie has won that fight 6-3. And that's what it is. So that means Johnny is going to take a wound. And he's lost the fight while using the chainsaw, so that's going to be discarded. And I think Johnny is going to play the card Too Close. Play when a hero is about to take a wound. Prevent that wound on a d6 roll of 3+. The hero may immediately move 1 space in any direction, ignoring walls. All right, we'll give that a roll and see if he can avoid that wound. Okay, here is the roll. And the roll is a 1, so that is not good. So Johnny is going to take a wound. That's one of his 2 wound boxes that are filled up. The card is discarded. That'll bring the zombie fight hero step to a close, and then we'll roll to spawn new zombies. We'll find out how many spawn points they're going to have. The roll is a 1, so they have 1 spawn point, but unfortunately they have no zombies to bring in the game. And they don't have sufficient spawn points to produce a zombie with grave weapons, so they don't get any. We'll move on to the hero turns. I think we'll begin with Johnny, and we'll see if we can get him some movement to get out of that area with those zombies nearby. Now the heavy rain card is in play for the zombies. All heroes who start their move in an outdoor space must subtract 1 from their movement die. So here is his roll. Rolls a 4, so that'll give him 3 movement points. And I think he's going to move into the factory to try to help out Dr. Yamato. 1, 2, and 3. That'll at least keep him indoors. He won't lose any movement points because of that heavy rains card. And I think we'll end Johnny's step there. We'll move on to, I think, Dr. Yamato. Dr. Yamato will begin in the factory, and he's going to start by using his cutting edge science. Once per turn, you may discard the top 3 cards from the hero deck to choose a zombie card or zombie upgrade to cancel. All right, we will do that. We're going to spend 3 of our hero cards. Those have been discarded. And now Dr. Yamato will make a roll, and on a roll of 5 or 6, he'll be able to cancel an existing remains in play card. Here's the roll. And that's a 3, so that is a failure. Well, now Dr. Yamato will roll for movement. And since he's starting in a building, a roll of 5 or 6 could earn him a unique item or survival card. So we'll give him a roll for movement. His roll is a 3, so he has 3 movement points. I think he'll just remain where he is, and he's going to draw a hero card. And that card is Pitchfork. Combat item, weapon, combat bonus. The hero may reroll any number of their fight dice, limit once per fight. After each use, it breaks on a 1 or 2. If the hero also has a torch, it only breaks on a 1. Okay, we'll give that to Dr. Yamato. And next is going to be his ranged attack step, and he's going to use this pump shotgun. And he's going to target the zombie hero, Jake Cartwright. All right. Range of 2, so he'll target Jake. And he's going to roll a d6 for each zombie in the space. Zombies are hit on a roll of 3+. Any hero in that space is unaffected. Each time the shotgun is fired, roll a d6. On a 1 or 2, it's out of ammo. Okay, here is his roll. 3 or better. Roll is a 4, so that is a successful attack on the zombie Jake Cartwright. Now, as Jake Cartwright is a zombie hero, he has 3 wound boxes, so this is going to end up placing a wound in one of the 3 that he has. And that'll earn Dr. Yamato a XP. That's going to end Dr. Yamato's turn, and I think we'll move on to Nikki. Nikki is going to roll for movement. She rolls a 5. Now she was outdoors, so that's actually going to be 4 movement points. And I think Nikki's going to go on the offensive. She's got that hedge trimmer, so I'm going to have her move 1, 2, and 3. And she's going to attack that zombie with the hedge trimmer. So she's going to use the hedge trimmer. That's going to give her an extra fight dice for each zombie in the space. And I almost wonder if I should have her go after the 2 zombies that are in that space in front of the plant. I wonder if that would have been better. Well, there's just too many zombies there. She would end up getting overwhelmed and swamped with them. So we'll make this attack. So that means that Nikki is going to have a total of 3 combat dice. And the zombies are going to have a total of their normal 1, plus the extra 1 for the scenario. And then that is a Rusty Axe zombie, and that's going to also get an extra fight dice. And Before fight dice are rolled, the zombie player may choose one of the hero's hand weapons that they may not use during this fight. And unfortunately, that hedge trimmer is a hand weapon. Well, maybe that wasn't such a good plan after all. I think I'm going to... Yeah, I think we're going to go back to where we were. Hang on one second. Yeah, I've decided to since no dice were rolled, I moved Nikki back, and I'm going to have her attack in this space with the 2 zombies there, and then use the hedge trimmer. We'll be getting a bonus die for that then. So in this case, she's going to start by attacking the feral dead. They have 1 fight dice, and they're going to gain another 1. So that's 2. We're going to have our normal 2 plus 1 for each zombie in the space. So that'll give her a total of 4 dice. And we're going to fight that feral dead zombie first. So we're going to make a roll to see if it has a fight card. The roll is an 8, so there will be no fight card. We'll make the roll. Here's the die roll. And it looks like Nikki got him. There's 2 6s. Whoops, that was a 6, and this was a 4. So she's got doubles. The zombie had a 4. So that's going to kill the zombie outright. The doubles is the key factor. And with a little retribution, the zombies are going to play the card Bitten. Play this card on a hero when they kill a zombie in a fight. The next time the hero would be wounded, instead they are turned into a zombie hero. That's a remains in play, so that gets played on Nikki. The feral dead zombie is killed. That'll go back to the feral dead card. Nikki is going to earn 1 XP in the process. All right. And now she's going to attack that other zombie in the space. We'll see if that zombie has a fight card. Roll is a 3, so no fight card there. In this case, she's going to have her 2 regular dice and only 1 extra for the hedge trimmer. So she'll be rolling 3 dice. The zombies will be rolling 2. And here's the result. And in this case, the zombie won that turn 6-3. So that is going to inflict a wound on Nikki. And unfortunately, because of that bitten card that she just received, that is going to turn her in to a zombie hero, unfortunately. No, this is not good. This is the 3rd zombie hero now. We're going to mark her as such. She loses all of her cards. And she will become a zombie hero. And we're going to draw a new zombie, or a new hero, to replace her. And I've determined that our new hero is going to be Angela, the cheerleader. Now, she has the choice of either starting in the center of the board or at a random building. And center of the board doesn't look too promising with all of these zombies. I think we'll just roll up a random building for her, and we'll just take our chances. So we'll start out with a roll for a random building. And that's 2, so that'll be this set of buildings down here, and then we'll determine the individual building with another roll. Building 1. It's going to be in the library is where she's going to start. And there happens to be a zombie there. So we're going to place Angela probably by the door, I guess. That's probably her best bet. She has a chance to get out at least. All right. Now that's the 3rd zombie hero that they have converted. And that means that they only need 2 more to instantly win the game. One thing I'm a little unclear on is when a new hero comes into play in the mid part of a turn. It just says that the hero doesn't participate in the current phase. But the word phase kind of means like if it was, say, during a zombie turn, the move sun track phase, draw zombie cards phase, that type of thing. But we're already in the hero turns portion. Now, the player that was actually operating Nikki technically went. So I guess that means that the new character that replaces them, they wouldn't be able to use because their turn has actually been used. So I guess Angela, all she can do is just come into play. But I'm going to try to do a little bit more research on that in the future and find out what exactly is the process when a new hero comes into play. So for right now, we're going to mark Angela as previously activated because the player that would have been controlling her had already activated that turn, which would have been Nikki. That leaves us with Sheriff Anderson, and we'll make a roll for movement for him. All right, Sheriff Anderson is outside the drugstore, and he'll make a roll for movement. He rolls a 1. Okay, now he was outdoors, so that he would have lost 1 movement point because of that card for the heavy rains, but that he has a minimum of 1 movement point. And since he rolled a 1, the zombies are going to play the card Twisted Ankle. Play this card on any hero when they roll 1 for movement. That hero must now subtract 1 from their movement die rolls down to a minimum of 1, remains in play. So that gets played on Sheriff Anderson, and that will be there until the heroes are able to cancel that card. So Sheriff Anderson has 1 movement point. He is going to attempt to move into the drugstore, but once again, the zombies are going to play the card Locked Door. Play this card when a hero tries to move through the door. The door is locked and the hero's move ends in the space before the door. All right, and that is going to finish up with Sheriff Anderson's turn, and we'll move on to a new zombie turn. This isn't looking good. We'll begin the new zombie turn with a move on the sun track. It goes from 7 down to 6. Okay, next is our draw new zombie cards. We have Deadly Instincts. That's a play immediately card. Whenever the zombies collect experience, roll a d6. On the roll of a 4+, collect 1 extra, and that remains in play. So we'll add that to the zombies growing list of remains in play cards. Next is Fire. Play immediately. A fire breaks out. Place a fire marker in any empty space adjacent to a zombie. Okay. All right, the zombies get to play a fire marker in an empty space adjacent to a zombie. And I think probably the best thing they could do would be to place that, I think, right here, and that would help to block out Sheriff Anderson from escaping. So I think we'll put that there. All right. And next up, they've got a Lights Out card that says play at the start of a zombie turn in any building to place a Lights Out marker on it. All right, we'll see if we can select one. I think the logical one would be to place it in the factory where we have 2 heroes there. And I think the zombies will play that in the factory. Lights Out. And next up is Haunted Memories. Play this card at the start of a zombie turn on any hero. That hero does not gain any benefit from the townsfolk events, and townsfolk events may not be played during a fight with that hero. Remains in play. All right, I think we will play that card on Dr. Yamato. And then they have a Zombie Surge card, which is a sacrifice card. Immediately spawn d6 zombies. These zombies may move and fight normally this turn. The sacrifice is that they can choose a hero on the board who would immediately draw a hero card. Well, they're not going to play that at this time. There are no zombies in the pool, so they'll save that for maybe later. And then finally, they've got this, this could be our last night on Earth. Play this card at the start of the hero turn. Choose any male and female pair of characters in the same space. Both characters lose their turn. Currently, there are no spaces with male-female characters, so they'll hang on to that. That's play at the start of the hero turn. Okay. And now we move on to move zombies. All right. Well, we'll start in this quadrant down here. And definitely, Angela is going to bear the brunt of 2 of these because those are going to be drawn by the zombie zombie hunger. So both of those are going to move into Angela's space. And I guess this zombie's going to move here. And, well, I guess these zombies will move down this way. These zombies are going to move towards Sheriff Anderson. Now the zombie Nikki would get a D3 roll for movement, so we'll do that for her. She might be able to reach him with a good roll. She rolls a 1, so that's all she's going to get out of that. And then we'll continue on with the movement. Both of these zombies are drawn by zombie hunger. I think this one would move here. And now we've got to check for zombie agent Carter and see if he has more than one movement point. He gets a D3's worth. And the roll is a 3. So he will strike at Sheriff Anderson. And we'll have him move three points there. Actually 2 points. There's 3 zombies attacking poor Sheriff Anderson. All right, and then it's just these zombies in the southeast part of the board. And I think they'll just kind of spread out and try to make sure they're not in the same space and just spread out where some of the running heroes might move to. Okay, now we're going to go to our fight heroes step. And our first fight is going to involve Angela and the zombie Jake Cartwright. We'll roll to see if Jake is going to get a fight card. He rolls a 9, so he will be getting a fight card. We'll draw that, and it is Feels No Pain. Play this card to let a zombie re-roll any number of its fight dice, or play to prevent a zombie from being instantly killed. All right, so that card is active. We'll build our dice pool now. The zombies get their normal 1 dice. They get 1 for the scenario. And I better check to see if a zombie hero gets any bonus. Nope, they have no bonus other than they get D3 movement points and they retain the number of wound boxes that they had. All right, Angela is going to get her normal 2 dice, and that'll be the dice pool. And here's the fight roll. And unfortunately, the zombies won 5-3. So that means that Angela is going to take a wound. Now, she only has 2 wound boxes, so that's not good. And now the next zombie is going to attack, and that theoretically could kill her. She's going to have her normal 2 dice, and the zombie is going to have their normal 1 plus 1 for the campaign, and then they're going to roll to see if they get a fight card. The roll is a 5, so they will not have a fight card this turn. There'll be 2 dice against 2 dice. Here's the roll. And the zombies won 6-5. That means Angela is killed and she becomes a zombie hero. That's their 4th. We'll mark her as a zombie hero. And we'll have to draft a new hero. And our new hero is going to be Detective Rachel Winters. And she begins the game with a revolver and a flashlight. And there is a zombie in the center of the board, so I think we're going to roll for a random location for her. All right. It's number 1. That's Hero's Choice. So we can place Detective, I think it's Raquel Winters. Raquel is her name. And we can place her in any building that we want. And, well, I think we'll start her in the post office. That would get her an automatic exploration token. So we'll do that, and we'll see what that is. That is a free search, so she'll get a free hero card, and we'll find out what that is. And that is determined to be a hammer. Combat bonus, the hero may add +1 to one of their fight dice rolls. This may be used multiple times per fight. Okay, all right. And now we have one more fight left, and that is Sheriff Anderson is being pretty much overwhelmed by 3 zombies. And if he goes, that would be the end of the scenario. The zombies would have converted 5 heroes into zombie heroes. We'll start out with the attack from the zombie Agent Carter attacking Sheriff Anderson. We'll roll to see if Sheriff Anderson's opponent is going to have a zombie card. Roll is a 5, so they will not have a card. That's going to give them a total of 2 fight dice. Sheriff Anderson will start with 2, and he's also going to use his chainsaw. The hero rolls an extra fight dice. Any zombie beaten in a fight is automatically killed, even if no doubles were rolled. Okay, so that's what we've got, and we'll make the roll. And the roll is, the zombies won that one, 6-1. So that means that Sheriff Anderson is going to take a wound. That's one of his 3 wound boxes are now filled up. And because he lost that fight, it says if you lose a fight while using the chainsaw, it's discarded. All right. And now the next zombie is going to attack Sheriff Anderson. We'll see if he has a fight card. Roll is a 4, so no fight card. And it will be the same amount of dice. Okay, here is the roll. As a matter of fact, I think this is a good time for the zombies to play their Strength of Hate card. Discard this card to let a zombie roll an extra fight dice. So they'll be rolling a total of 3 dice now to 2. Okay, here is the roll. And the roll is Sheriff Anderson was able to hold him off. He won 6-3, and that holds back that zombie, which is a good thing. This card is discarded now, and one more zombie now will attack Sheriff Anderson. We'll see if he gets a zombie fight card. Roll is a 5, so no card. And the dice pool will be 2 each. Okay, here is the roll. And Sheriff Anderson was able to win that one 6-4. So he held them off somehow. 3 zombies. All right, that is going to complete the Fight Hero step. And now all that's left is for the zombies to roll for spawn points. And they rolled a 5, so they have 5 spawn points to spend. Now they did get, they should have received XP for hitting Angela and for the hit that they had on Sheriff Anderson. So they actually have 2 XP right now. And that's enough for them to bring in those feral dead. They're going to spend 4 spawn points out of the 5 and 2 XP. And that will allow them to bring in 2 feral dead. All right. And I think we're going to place a feral dead down here. And I think one up here. And that's not good. And that's going to complete the zombies' turn. And now we'll move on to our hero turns. I think we'll start out by activating Dr. Yamato. He's going to use his special cutting edge science where he can discard 3 hero cards and he can make a roll. On a 5 or 6 he would be able to cancel a zombie card that remains in play. Here's his roll. He did. He rolled a 6, so we're able to cancel one of those zombie cards. Let's see which one we want to get rid of. And I think we'll use Dr. Yamato's cutting edge science to get rid of the Heavy Rain card. That's a zombie event that remains in play, and that will at least give the heroes back a little bit of their mobility. All right, now we're going to roll for Dr. Yamato's move. If he can roll a 5 or 6, since he's in a building, he'd be able to get a unique item or a survival upgrade card. He rolled a 2, so he has 2 movement points. I think he'll just stay where he is, and I'll have him draw a hero card. And he draws Bash Heads. Play on any hero that has 2 or more zombies in their space. Until the end of the turn, the hero gains 2 extra fight dice and kills any zombie beaten in a fight, even if no doubles were rolled. That'd be a good card to keep and to use for Sheriff Anderson, I think. All right, the next step is going to be for Dr. Yamato to use a ranged attack. He has a pump shotgun with a range of 2. He's going to target that zombie there, and he will hit on a result of 3 or greater. Okay, here is his roll with the shotgun. He rolled a 1. All right, on a roll of a 1 or 2, the shotgun is out of ammo. Discard. Boy, I'll tell you. All right, so that's a miss, and he loses his pump shotgun. And that's incorrect. I checked the card, and it says that the shotgun, it says here that each time the shotgun is fired, roll a d6. We have to do a separate roll for this to determine whether it's out of ammo or not. So, all right, we're going to make the roll, and on a 1 or 2, it will be out of ammo. Okay, it's a 4, so he does get to keep the shotgun at least, so that's good. That's going to end Dr. Yamato's turn. I think next up is Johnny. Now, Johnny is in the factory. He does have an ability called Youth. May give up a move action to fully heal, so I think he'll do that, and that will fully heal Johnny. He had 1 wound from previous, and now he's back to 2 wound boxes available. So that will finish his turn up there. I think next up is Raquel. She's currently at the post office, and we'll have her roll for movement. And we'll see what happens. She rolls a 1. So she would only have 1 movement point. I think I'll just keep her there, and she'll do a search. And she ends up drawing a signal flare. Range of 4. You may target 1 zombie within range. Roll a d6. The zombie is killed on a roll of 2+. Discard when fired. The signal flare does not count against the hero's weapon limit. Okay. And I think Raquel is going to target one of the zombies up here that are kind of surrounding Sheriff Anderson. So I think I'll have her target this one with her revolver. It has a range of 3, so that's only 2 spaces away. And she is going to hit on a roll of 4+. Now this is one of those weapons that if the roll is a 1, it's considered out of ammo. So it's not a separate roll for breakage, so to speak. Okay, here's the roll. She rolls a 6, and that is a success. So that zombie is killed, and Raquel is going to gain a XP, and that kind of gives a little bit of room for Sheriff Anderson to try to get out of there at least. So that is going to complete Raquel's turn. And all that's left now is Sheriff Anderson. We'll have him roll for movement. He rolls a 3, so he's got 3 movement points, and we'll try to get him out of there and at least get him some breathing room. And I think he's just going to move 1, 2, and 3. He'll kind of guard the door to the post office. And that's pretty much going to, oh, I forgot he has a twisted ankle. He has to subtract 1 for his movement, so he only has 2 movement points. So in that case, 1, 2. Yeah, I guess he'll have to do that. Not good. All right, that is going to complete the hero's actions. We'll move on to a new zombie turn. Okay, the turn track moves from 6 down to 5. The heroes have to survive 5 more turns, and they've only can allow one. They can't allow any more heroes to be turned into zombie heroes, so this is not looking too good. Okay, next step is to draw new zombie cards. We have a play immediately card, Desperate for Flesh. While this card is in play, zombies are no longer limited to 1 fight card per fight. All right, that card is already still active, but I guess that would just kind of reinforce it. We would have to discard that twice to get rid of that, so we'll place that in their stand. Next is Overconfidence. Play this card at the start of the zombie turn on any hero. While that hero is in a space with a zombie, they may not move away. They may still search instead of moving. If the hero loses the fight, discard this card on a roll of 4+. Remains in play. All right. Well, I think that the zombies are going to play that Overconfidence card on Sheriff Anderson. He's already wounded and he is in close proximity to several zombies. And next is There's No Time. Leave it. The zombie player may choose any card from the hero card's discard pile and remove it from the game. All right, I think they'll play that right away. And I think they're going to select the Revolver card, and that will be permanently removed from play. Next card is Unnecessary Self-Sacrifice. Play this card when 2 heroes are in the same space and a zombie is about to fight one of them. Okay? Hungry Dead. Anytime a hero loses a fight to a zombie, that zombie player may immediately draw a zombie card. We have to remove 3 zombie cards from zombies from anywhere on the board in order to play that card. And then finally, Dead End. Play this card when a hero enters a forest space or a spawning pit. All right. Well, the heroes are zombies are always instructed to try to play those cards, so they'll do that. They're going to remove 3 zombies from the board, and then that will allow them to have that card remain in play. So I think they'll remove this zombie and this one and this one. All right, we'll add those to the zombie pool, and that is pretty much all of the cards that can be played at this time. Well, now it's time to move zombies. I think we'll start by moving our zombie heroes. Those have that variable movement, D3. We'll start by moving zombie hero Angela. Here's the D3 roll for her. She rolled a 3, so she has 3 movement points, and that's enough to reach Dr. Yamato. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. We'll do the same thing for zombie hero Cartwright. He rolled a 3. And I think he'll move into the space with Johnny. 1, 2, and 3. All right. Then we have a Feral Dead that has a move of 2. That'll move 2 spaces into and attack Johnny. And now we have zombie hero Nikki. She'll roll a die. She rolls a 3, so she has 3 movement points. And she'll try to make an attack here. 1, 2, and she'll attack Sheriff Anderson. Finally, we've got zombie hero Carter, and he'll make a roll. And he rolls a 3. Oh boy, everything's going against us. All right, and he'll move 1, 2, and attack. Now we'll make our regular zombie movements. And I have a hunch this is going to be the end of us. This zombie will move into there. These zombies will move this way. That zombie is driven by zombie hunger. And this zombie will move up there. This has 2 movement points. That's a feral zombie. And pretty much they're just getting surrounded here. All right, well, we'll start with our combats down in the southwest part of the board, I guess. We'll begin with the attack on Dr. Yamato, and we'll see if zombie hero Angela has a fight card. Roll is an 8, so there'll be no card. So Dr. Yamato is going to have 2 dice, and zombie hero Angela will have 2 dice. And we'll give it a roll and see what happens. Here's the roll. And it looks like the zombies won that one. It's a tie, 6-6. And that means Dr. Yamato is going to have a wound token. That's one of his 3 boxes. All right. And the zombies are going to collect an XP, and then they have a card that says Deadly Instincts. Whenever a zombie collects an experience, roll a d6 on a 4+, they earn an extra one. Okay, so here is the roll. And they rolled a 6, so they're going to get an extra XP. That gives them 2. We'll place those in the zombie pool for later use. And they have another card that's active. It's called Hungry Dead. Anytime the hero loses a fight to a zombie, the hero player may draw a zombie card. Oh boy. All right, so they're going to draw a card, and that is Deadly Surprise. Play this card at the start of a fight to immediately draw grave weapons for the zombie. All right, well, they'll be using that in the next set of combats. I guess we'll have zombie hero Cartwright will attack Johnny. He's going to play the Deadly Surprise card, and that's going to allow him to draw a grave weapon for the zombie. And that card is Old Pitchfork. Any hero fighting the zombie rolls 1 less fight dice than normal. We'll switch out Cartwright for a Pitchfork zombie. All right, so we'll switch that out for a Pitchfork zombie. And that means that Johnny is going to have 1 less fight dice. All right, so in this case, the zombies will be rolling 2 dice, and Johnny will be rolling just 1. Okay, here is the roll. And Johnny was able to stave them off. No, he wasn't. The zombies won 4-1. I thought that was a 6. Okay, so that means Johnny is going to take a wound, and that is not good. He only has 1 wound box left now. Zombies will gain an XP, and they'll get to roll to see if they gain an additional XP because of that card, and that is the Deadly Instinct card. On a 4 or greater, they're going to get an extra one. And they did not. They rolled a 1. Okay, so that's going to finish that attack against Johnny. Now the Feral Dead is going to strike at Johnny. Now the same situation is going to happen because Johnny has a card called This Can't Be Happening, and that means he rolls 1 less fight dice than normal. So he'll be rolling 1 dice. The Feral Dead will be rolling 2 dice. And here's the roll. If the Feral Dead can succeed in this, the scenario will be over with a zombie victory. Here's the roll. And that's just what happened. The zombies won 4-3. That means Johnny is turned into a zombie hero, and the game will instantly end in a zombie victory. So Johnny is removed, and we're going to scratch him off of the campaign chart. So now we have to, what happens now in a loss, each of the heroes have to roll a die, and if they fail that roll, they are considered to have been killed in the aftermath of the scenario. This is for campaign purposes. All right, we're going to make a die roll for each of the heroes. Now, as long as they're not infected, they are going to perish in the aftermath on a roll of 1 to 4. So we'll see what happens. We'll start with Sheriff Anderson, and we'll make a roll for him. If he can roll a 5 or 6, he will have survived the scenario. The roll is a 5, so Sheriff Anderson is going to survive. That's huge. That's good. Now we have Detective Raquel Winters. See what happens to her. She rolled a 4, so she is going to perish. And finally, we have Dr. Yamato. We'll see what happens to him. He rolled a 2, so he is gone. So we're going to have to scratch all of these heroes. Only Sheriff Anderson will remain active on the campaign sheet. So we're going to update that sheet, and then we'll show you what happens on the campaign map. All right, this is our current campaign hero chart. All of the heroes that you see that are blacked out have been removed from the campaign. There are some heroes that had survived the previous campaign, like Amanda Collins. She has 1 XP and a pitchfork. And then Father Joseph, he has 1 wound with 2 XP. And now we've got Sheriff Anderson. Sheriff Anderson has 1 wound with 1 XP. So all of those players, plus the ones that have never appeared yet, are eligible to remain in the campaign. The next step now is we have to see what happens on the campaign map. Okay, we're at the campaign map, and now part of the revised rules I have for the campaign is when the heroes lose a scenario, they have to flee from their existing location. Right now they're in Woodinvale. Fleeing is different than traveling. When you flee, you automatically succeed in the attempt, but you're going to lose D3 heroes from your campaign chart to the hazards of traveling. So now we have a choice. We can either move to the city of Brideston or the town of Timber Peak. And I think we're going to go to the town of Timber Peak. So we're going to move there. But now we have to make a roll, a D3 roll, to find out how many heroes are going to be lost in that fleeing from Woodinvale. So we'll make a D3 roll and see how many other additional heroes we're going to lose in the process. The roll is a 1. We got lucky. So we're going to lose 1 more hero. We'll make a random roll using 3d10, and then we'll find out which hero was killed during the fleeing from Woodinvale to Timber Peak. Here's the roll. And these are always red, white, and blue. 970. So we'll look up 970. That hero's already been eliminated, so we'll have to re-roll. We have 301. 301. Let's see who that is. That's going to be Dr. Galen Brody, the country physician. So we're going to eliminate him from the chart. And that's going to complete this second series of the campaign. Thank you very much for joining me at the Solo Gamers Club. And in the future, we'll have our 3rd installment of this campaign series with the heroes beginning at the town of Timber Peak. Thanks very much for joining me, and have a good evening. Good night.